for the setup of the circus, and he's going to tell us what it takes to actually launch this here at Cardinal Middle School. Chris?
Well, I route the show from point A to point B, and once I get to town, we decide the layout where the tent's going to go, the animal department, and then it's all marked with flags and painted, and then we park the rigs as they come in.
Describe the rigs that will be arriving here in a few minutes.
There's 40 of them. 7 of them are tractor trailers. The majority are privately owned vehicles, very large fifth wheels motorhomes, because people are living in those for 40 weeks out of the year. And then there are the seat trailers, which are like Coliseum bleachers. There's 5 of those that go in. We seat 1,200 people per show.
And how long has the planning been going on for the show here in Middlefield?
My part, I got here yesterday at about 2 to do all the layout and mark the route where the fleet comes in. They actually follow little red and white arrows, which tells them where to turn, steep downgrades or rough road crossings, so we're not, jostling the animals around en route.
So when you arrive and you see the facility, what's the first thing that you have to do?
I walk it, I pace it, so I know what the approximate measurements are. That tells me where to place the tent and which side I want to take the bandwagon out, where we want to take the midway out. That depends on where people are going to park. You want them either facing the midway or they're going to drive by the midway preferably.
How many people are associated with the show?
Currently the cookhouse is feeding 80 people.
And they're divided into what categories?
Performers, they used to call them rouseabouts, we call them working boys nowadays. The kids, performers and office people's children.
Well, it's going to be a perfect day. You're going to be here for 2 shows, right, today and tomorrow?
Yes, 4:30 and 7:30 today and tomorrow.
And you were telling us before we started rolling that really you guys almost put on a show a day.
We're someplace every day. There are very few days off once you open because you have 12 weeks off in the winter where you have nothing going on.
What's the range of the show? How far out do you go?
We open in Brownsville, Texas. We go as far northeast as Massachusetts. We've actually just left Mass in New York State and are working our way to Chicago, which is almost a full month of September in the suburbs.
Is there a home base for you guys?
Hugo, Oklahoma, which is 25 miles north of Paris, Texas.
So what's it like to travel with the circus?
Some days it's long hours, it can be hot and sweaty, cold and wet, muddy. If you don't like being outdoors, you won't last very long.
You're saying that there's quite a few military people associated with the circus. Does that help logistically, organizationally? Why is that?
I think it's because the guys like to travel. When in the military, you're constantly moving around, and the circus is a paramilitary in structure, the way they're organized and the way they move. So that's got a lot to do with it. There's there's about 4 ex-military on the show right now.
We understand that, well, it's just a little bit before 7 o'clock here, and by 9 o'clock, the main tent will be
going in the air.
And describe that, because that seems to be a real feature this morning that we want to cover.
Okay. When the show comes in, we park everything. Our tent's hand-laced and hand-folded. It's made in Italy. It weighs about 5,000 pounds, if I remember right. They'll start the side poles up, the quarter poles, and once they get it to a certain point where they can get Lisa under, then they'll take her under, and she pulls up the main poles, which takes about 20 minutes.
And you're actually using elephants to do that?
Yes, and we invite the public. We've had up to 1,400 kids for tent raising before.
Participating or just watching?
Just watching.
Well, that's going to be awfully cool to see. I thought that was sort of folklore that circuses still used elephants to help with the tent raising, but apparently it's not.
There's only 2 shows that I know of that still use an elephant to raise a big top. Elephants they're becoming a rarity, so we don't work them anymore, and we have to anymore.
How do you care for the animals when you're out on the road?
We use local vets when we can, and if there are none available for the pachyderms, then we fly ours in from Hugo.
Does someone travel that's specifically just assigned to caring for just for the elephants, or all the animals?
Each we have department heads. You have the camel people, and then you have people in charge of the ponies, and then you have the head of the elephant department.
Food and watering, and who manages all that?
I order the hay and the grain, and the animal department, their personnel, make sure that everything's fed and the grass is cleaned up. And
you pick that up when you're out on the road, so different drop-off stations, or do you bring enough? Looks like someone rolling in here. It's part of your crew there.
Lot superintendent, first one in.
And they're coming in from where?
Girard.
Girard, Ohio. Well, that's really very cool. This is going to be one of the more unusual things that we've covered on our channel. I don't think we've ever had a circus that we've covered. And unfortunately, we're not going to be here for taping the show, but it is a paid admission, so we do respect that. How long does the show last?
2 hours or better some days. And they're doing a 50s theme this year. It's going over really well. It's probably the best show that's been out in 12 years.
Well, we look forward to seeing the setup, talking with more of the performers. And do you have anything else to add that we haven't covered? Anything behind the scenes that would be interesting to hear?
No, you can come out and have a picnic on the Midway if you want. You know, the elephants are there all day long. And
Clowns? We got clowns here.
Oh, yeah. And they're actually funny this year.
So you've had clowns in the past that have not been funny.
David Rawls used to say that it was a previous owner, that the only funny clown he ever saw was Emmett Kelly. So the guy asked him one day, "Do you have clowns?" And David said, "Yes." He goes, "Are they funny?" He goes, "No, don't laugh at them." And the guy chuckles and he goes, "You're joking." He goes, "No, I'm serious."
Hey, you told us one interesting fact concerning the ownership of the circus.
John Ringling North II purchased this show 4 years ago when David Rawls retired.
Why don't we see anything about that on the flyer? Like, you know, Kelly Miller Circus, okay, I can look that up and see what it's about, but when you throw that Ringling name in there, that really gives it that added interest.
Well, it's on there on the trucks and stuff, and on some things. There was some contention with Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey, which is owned by Feld Entertainment. There was an actual lawsuit over the name on the trucks. Obviously, it's still on the truck, so you know, we won.
Understood. Chris Beckett is the on-site manager. We appreciate your time this morning. As the crew rolls in, what's your next step here?
We go over the lot layout with the lot superintendent, and then we're going to start parking stuff.
You unload the animals as soon as they get here and walk them, or how does that work?
They stop them, get them. They have to put up their containment fences and their awnings and stuff, so they have their shade. And once they get everything set, then they bring them out.
Once the tent's up, how long until really, I think the show's this afternoon at 4:30, right? But how long does it take to get everything where you need to be prepared for the public to come and enjoy?
They're having lunch at 11.
Quickly, huh? Well, when you do it almost every day, you get pretty efficient.
You're welcome to come watch it go down. They won't take you under the tent because it comes down so quickly, but I'd rather watch it go down.
Well, welcome here to Middlefield. We hope everything goes well for the next few days for you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's Chris Beckett. He is a logistics man associated with the Kelly Miller Circus.